In this video, I will be talking about stocks and or money management. Please keep in mind that I am not a financial advisor. The strategies and the money decisions that I implement are based on my personal financial situation and my goals. How I decide to invest and manage my money may not be the correct strategy for you. You should not take anything said during this video or on the website www.wealthinspiredstudenteducation.com as financial advice. Always do your own research before making any financial decisions. Hello, hello. Welcome back. We are back in the library today. Today I'm going to be talking about this game, the Rich Dad Poor Dad game, and my experience with the game, and why I feel it's a great investment. And I just added it to the website. And I'll tell you a quick story about the game. And so first off, the game, when I bought it, it was actually, well, I didn't even buy it. It was my dad who bought it. But when we bought it, it was over $100 for this board game. And so you might immediately say, what the heck? I'm not buying that. And that's what I thought, because at the time I didn't have any money, and I thought my dad was nuts. But Robert talks about the reason why he made the game cost what it costs. And I will tell you, this game has made me a lot more than $100 that we spent on it. But the reason why he made the game the price they did, he said, look, I wanted people to buy the game and understand that it's not Monopoly. It's not a Trouble. It's not a Uno. You're not buying the game for the sake of just buying a board game. He's like, this is a financial tool. It's going to teach you things. It's going to, you're investing in yourself and in your financial education. And so he talks about, in the game, you're going to learn how to read financial statements. You're going to learn about yourself. You're going to learn about your psychology of money and how you think about money and how to change that psychology. And games are, how we learn. It's a fun way of learning. And the funny thing about playing the game is the more you play it, the better you get at it and the better you understand what's going on. And you start looking at your life and saying, oh, your financial status, and saying, oh, I could do this now. I know how to do this. I know how to make an income statement. I'll show you in a minute what's in the game. But then we used to play. So basically what happened is we bought this game, and as a family, we would play this. When we got the game, we played it almost every day for at least like a month or a month and a half. And then we started playing at least once a week. Now my family is big into games. So that was one of the good things about my family is we like to play games, but it was definitely a fun game to play with each other, and just having that camaraderie. I'll never forget the times I spent, my dad has passed on, but with my family playing this game. And I remember one time we played, and we were playing maybe 3 weeks, and I started looking at everyone around that was playing the game. And it was really weird that I noticed how, because there's money in the game, right? And I started realizing how my family, the people I was playing with, think about money just by looking at how they were actually holding the money. It was really cool. I almost don't want to tell you this because I want you to see it yourself. But it just dawned on me one day. I was watching, and you'll get other things out of the game, how people react, how your behavior is, because money is a very emotional thing. And so I noticed my dad, who was who gambled, right? Like he used to go to the horse track, and he would bet on horses and whatnot. So he used to have all his money. He would hold it all in his hand, right? And he would, when he had to pay something, he'd like flip through it all, and he'd pull out the things, but he kept it all in his hand. And my mom, who doesn't spend money on anything and saves, she's constantly she saves money. She saves quarters. She puts money in different parts. Like she puts some in her drawer. She'll put money in different compartments in her purse. She'll put money. She hides money all over the place. It's interesting. But she would take her money and literally stick it under the board, right? So she would, and then when she needed some money, she would take it out. She would have a little bit on her, and then she would take, her bigger bills were all under the board, and she had to lift up the board to kind of get at her money. And my brother, who is very orderly, let's put it that way. That's a good word that I'll use, orderly. So what he would do, so my glasses are really weird right now. I guess I'm tilting my head. But what he would do is he would constantly be changing, putting his money in equal stacks, and you don't have to do this in the game, but he would always, like, if the stacks weren't equal, he'd be like, oh, can I give you 5,000 for a $5,000 bill, and because they have $5,000 bills, $100,000 bills in the game, right? And he would be constantly trying to make his stacks even. That was like his thing, right? And me, who at the time that I had this game, I was making a lot of money, but I wasn't really organized at all with it. I would just get money. Money was coming in and money was going out. I had no clue what was happening in my own financial life. And I realized that all my money was just in a big pile in front of me. And then I would just look through it when I needed something. And it just dawned on me. It was crazy. I was like, wow, I can literally, you can see, what's going on in people's heads and how we react. So it was just really an interesting observation to have, and that's what the game does. So what I want to tell you, so on the website, there's CashFlow 101, and the point of the game is, I'm not going to be able to, it's got a big board, so I'm not going to be able to unfold the board, but you get a little piece. You're a rat. Right, it looks like this, okay, because the goal is to get out of the rat race, right? And it's got the cash flow quadrant on the back of the rat. You can't really see it. And your goal is to get your cheese. So there's a piece of cheese, and you have this little circle in the middle, and the circle is the rat race. And you go around, you get your paycheck, and you can buy different things and whatnot. And at the beginning of the game, you get an occupation, right? So you have to pick one of these occupation cards, right? So you got the truck driver, and it will tell you here. I'll pull one of these out of here. So I'm going to take the truck driver out, take the secretary, right? So you have the secretary here, and then you have how much, let's see if I can show you that, how much income and expenses that she has through mortgage and taxes that she has to pay, and her total expenses. And then you have her balance sheet down there. And then what you do is you take that information and you put it on an actual balance sheet. Right. So you put the income, the expenses, and you have your balance sheet, your mortgage, your assets, and your liabilities. And the objective of the game, you'll see right up here, says passive income, right? So your objective of the game, in order to get out of the rat race, is you have to make these investments. So as you go through, opportunities show up, and you get different cards which tell you have this new opportunity, and you could decide if you want to buy it or not. It might be real estate, it might be stocks, it might be something, right? And so you have these opportunities, and it makes you have to read the card, and you have to understand what is the opportunity, what's going on, and it makes you have to think, how much is this going to make me in passive income? What's the potential gain in the future? What's the loss that I'm spending right now? How does that interact with my financial situation right now and what I'm making? And so you go around the board, and you get your paychecks, and you got to keep updating your financial statements. And the objective of the game is that your passive income, the income that you're making when you're not working, like that your money makes you, all right, has to be able to pay all your expenses. All right. So there's different things you can do in the game. You can try to lower your expenses. You can try to raise your house. But whenever your passive income can pay all your expenses, then you're out of the rat race. You're out of this little tiny circle, and you get to go on the dream path and do all these other things. So that's the goal. And then go search for your cheese, get your goal. But you have to get out of the rat race first in order to do it. And that's the only way to get out of the rat race. And that's what happens in real life, right? Like if you get to the point where your investments, your investment money, your passive income is making you all the money you need, then you get out of the rat race, right? So that's cash flow 101. We played it a bunch. The goal is try to get out in under an hour. It's really good to play with other people, see how other people react, how people act with money. In the beginning, we just couldn't get out of the rat race, which was interesting, and we just gave up. So you learn that. Now, the second thing is CashFlow 202, the next version. The next version now is a little bit more detailed, starts teaching you about stocks and how to buy stocks and how to do call options and put options. And it's funny because I played this game. We must have been doing this back in like 2003, 2002. All right. So 18, 19 years ago. And only recently, like maybe last year, I started doing call options and put options. I remember the words, and I was like, oh yeah, we didn't play 202 as much as altogether. That came out later. And we didn't get it until down the road, but I just remember these words and I was like, oh, right. Now I get it. I remember how it works. And now I do it with real money. My call options make me a good amount of money. So, and same with my puts. So I highly recommend the game. It's an investment in yourself. I think you could probably play it online somewhere. I guess I don't know, but the board game, the tactileness, and being able to play it. There's also one for kids. Actually, I'll put that one up too, which is a watered down version that you could play with your kids if you have younger kids. And but the habits and the understanding and the financial education is great, and it really teaches you because you're actually doing it as opposed to just reading a book. You're putting it into practice and you're trying your hardest to figure out tactics to win this game, and then just all of a sudden you go, let me just put my real, let me apply these things to my real life, and they really do cross over very well. So that's my talk about the cash flow the cash flow game, the rat race game. Highly recommend it, and yeah, that's it. Make wise decisions. I'll talk to you soon. Oh, yeah, like, subscribe, all that stuff. I always forget. But yeah, like and subscribe if you want. At the end of this, you'll also see the Weeble stuff, and check out the website, Wealth Inspired Student Education, and we'll be adding more and more information to that and to the web and to the YouTube page as time goes on. All right, talk to you all soon. If you would like to support me and the channel and would like to get up to 4 free stocks, you can sign up with Weeble so you can start your stock investing. There should be a link below or on the W.I.S.E website. You get 2 stocks just for opening an account, and you get 2 more stocks for funding it with $100. So you can get some pretty cool stocks for free, and I hope all of your investments are wise ones.